All right, let's talk about the syllabus. So, beginning on the Canvas homepage here, we are going to navigate to syllabus. You're probably already here because you should be looking at this page. You should be looking at a video right here. Obviously, we're making that video right now, so there can't be a video that you're going to watch about the syllabus while we're making the video. You can't see the video. I can't travel in time. Don't worry, I'll keep this as brief as possible. There'll be as few of those types of jokes in this as possible, which is a very tall ask for me. So you can see here's the basic schedule. It just goes through what we're doing for the next 7 weeks. It looks pretty straightforward. I will just mention here that there is some optional classes that are going to be in person, even though this is an online format, and the administration has asked us to stick really to the online format for those of you who are taking this remotely or need to take it asynchronously because you're doing co-ops or other things. I'm still offering these in-class sessions or in-person sessions on Thursdays from 11 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. They'll just be hour-and-a-half sessions on a Thursday, and I'll be recording most of them. They will be in person. We will be in the studio doing some recording, setting up some mics, but I will video it and document it so that I'll also share that within that week's module. So even if you can't be on campus, you can still kind of soak up some of the information from those little in-person sessions. They're not required. They're completely optional. You can come to all of them. You can come to one of them, some of them, none of them. I'm just offering that there because I know some people have expressed some interest in doing some more in-person things. As always, I'm always available to meet on Zoom at any point throughout the semester, and I'm also available to meet in person, whether that's in the studio, Rider 458, or elsewhere. So let's hop into the syllabus here. Let's go over to the PDF here. We'll zoom in, and we'll zoom in as much as we can here so that everybody can see what's going on. So this is Music Production 2. You may formerly know it as Recording 2, but now it's Music Production and Recording 2. The content hasn't changed that much, but the focus and moving forward, the focus in these courses will change to just have a more contemporary perspective of what it means to record and produce in the sort of contemporary industry and contemporary workflow. So yeah, as the syllabus describes here, it's a 7-week course. It'll happen over summer 1. We're going to be online for the majority of this, but there will be a hybrid option on Thursdays, as well as I'm available on campus on Tuesdays and Thursdays throughout the summer 1 semester. You can always contact me at the d.bielmeyer at Northeastern, and I'm always available via Zoom or by appointment on campus on those Tuesdays or Thursdays. So the objectives of this course are to develop a foundational understanding of intermediate music production concepts. So we've done some of the basic stuff in Music Production 1 or Recording 1, and we're going to build on that. And this is going to include some more in-depth conversations or some conversations at all about transducers and microphones, microphone techniques, and advanced editing. So taking all the skills we learned in Music Production 1 in Pro Tools and mixing and combining now some of the physical recording aspects to that as well. We're also going to develop an intermediate understanding of Pro Tools, so we'll be doing a more advanced approach. We're going to be dealing with not just like, what is the pencil tool, but some of the cool things that we can do or more advanced things with some of the tools we've already learned. We'll also develop a foundational understanding of recording chronology or the process of recording, as well as some of the roles. We'll do this with a series of labs and a course-long independent recording project. So the required materials here are really just the Canvas site. Anything else that's reading or any other resources, I put tons of resources up on the website. The only additions, the only reason I put these books up here is that some people really like to just dive into sort of really elaborate text, and this does a great job. Some of these books are really great. Stavros, Mixing with Your Mind, there's a bunch of excerpts on, it says Blackboard here, but it should say Canvas. Also, Ian Corbett's Mic It is a great book and resource, as well as sort of the basic modern recording techniques book by David Mile Huber is on there as well. I'll let you go through and read some of the course policies. Please do take a look at those. Usually don't have any real issues with any of this stuff. Most Huskies are pretty on the ball, but just be aware of some of the things. And even if we are online, there will be an online discussion board. So, just keeping in mind what a, hostile learning environment is, and just, being our best, even though we're not face to face. Sometimes it's easier to take a wrong step when we're not face to face. So just, be aware of that. This also just talks about some of the grading and incomplete work. As always, you might read this and it might seem pretty draconian or pretty extreme, but as always, at this point, taking Recording 1 or Music Production 1 with me, you can reach out, talk to me after class, or reach out via email or Zoom, and we can work it out. I'm here to help and support you. So the grading, as usual, I don't do an plus or minus. So if you basically get to a 90 or an 89.6, you have an A. I don't mess around with plus and minuses. I usually tend to round up to the next letter grade. Quizzes. As far as assignments that we have in the class, you'll have 6 quizzes based on the sort of 6 main modules that we'll have. There's 6 Pro Tools labs that correspond to the topics in the quizzes and those modules for each week. We have a home studio setup video and discussion. It just basically talks about the equipment that you're going to be using throughout the semester, and just further going into the gear you have versus the gear you might want versus, finances, goals, and approaches to music production. We'll be taking something called the PTPT. We'll be doing that at the very end of the semester, but it'll just be sort of a final proficiency test to test your skills in Pro Tools. We'll be using a discussion board, so there'll be 3 big discussions that will be related to the course project. There also is a discussion, as I mentioned before, with the home setup videos that you'll be creating. So as far as the course project goes, there's basically 3 major benchmarks with 2 sub-benchmarks in each. So if you think about it, there's almost like 6 assignments that are related, or benchmarks or turn-in dates related to the course project, which I'll talk a little bit more about in a minute, but it's basically just going to take us through this entire process of creating a demo, tracking it out, fully realizing it, and then creating a final mix. We also have a final exam in this class as well. All right, so here's just a description of the quizzes, just telling you what they're going to be on. Like I said, the areas we're going to cover is home studio production, microphones, recording vocals, recording guitars and amps, drum recording, as well as piano recording. And the final exam will be based on these quizzes. And I shouldn't say based on, they are these quizzes. Just like in Music Production 1. Let's see, Pro Tools labs, there'll be 6 of them. I think you're really going to enjoy these. These are going to take a little bit longer than your traditional Music Production 1 lab. I think that's why there are less of them and they're more involved. So I wouldn't think you can sit down in an hour and knock it out. You probably will need more time to complete these. They're advanced topics, and so a lot of times some of the stuff, even though the directions are really straightforward, it's just something that you have to work at a little bit to get right. So the first lab will be really straightforward. It'll just be a review from what we did in Recording 1 or Music Production 1. I've included this just because over the years, what we've been doing in Recording 1 has changed. So if you haven't taken Recording 1 in a while, or even the new music production version of it, this will just get you up to speed. I don't think there'll be too many surprises. If anything, I think you'll just see that there's an increased level of detail that wasn't there previously. So let's see, Pro Tools Lab 2, we'll be talking about advanced recording and editing techniques. We're going to do things like quick punch, and we're just going to deal with some of the things that are really important, especially if you're producing your own music or trying to do sort of final editing and mixing in Pro Tools. We'll also do some advanced vocal editing, which includes using playlists like we have before, but also things like elastic audio to adjust timing, as well as clip gain. Lab 4 will deal with just different ways of recording guitars. There'll be another lab on drums, and then Lab 6 is a piano recording lab, but it's really kind of an undercover dealing with stereo techniques or using multiple microphones to record a source, which is pretty common when recording piano. Here's the proficiency test here outlined. Probably as the semester goes on, we'll talk more about it. But by the end of the semester, you'll need to be able to complete the following tasks. You'll be recording these on your own computer. You'll be going through the steps and recording it. And you'll need to have those videos be under 10 minutes. So you'll basically have to complete the following 8 tasks in under 10 minutes. Like I said, there'll be feedback discussions based on the main benchmarks of the course demo draft, tracking draft, and mix draft of the course project. So you'll be required to provide feedback for 3 class members' projects, as well as reply to 3 comments. You're going to be posting drafts or bounces of your project at different benchmarks up on the discussion board for people to give you feedback. And obviously, you know, this feedback is in the spirit of helping your classmates further develop their vision and production. It's not a like slam poetry contest. It doesn't need to be like a crucible. It should be supportive. Let's see, the demo draft here, it just goes through the course project now. So the first thing you're going to do is conduct a basic recording session to get your basic idea. Maybe you've already done a demo. Maybe you've already done a demo on your iPhone or in a really basic way. So for this demo draft, it's just about, you know, getting it into Pro Tools or doing some basic recording in Pro Tools. You'll be posting a link to this on the discussion board, which you'll then get feedback on. And when later the following week, you'll turn in the demo final, the changes you'll make and the things you'll do will be based on not just my feedback, but from your fellow classmates. And by the way, this will be helpful, hopefully, you know, like sometimes when we're working on a project, we get stuck at certain spots or we're confused, and this will do a great job of helping you kind of get past some of those roadblocks sometimes. Getting feedback from other people is essential to kind of being healthy and kind of moving forward when it comes to a creative project or production. The tracking draft, it'll be where we take this demo idea, this kernel of the idea, you fleshed it out now, and now you're going to record it, re-record it, or produce a more final version of the previous demo. So this could mean you're re-recording, you're remixing, but you're producing something that you could use for a final project, or for the final product rather. So you'll be submitting this first draft to receive feedback just like you did for the demo. You'll be on the discussion board commenting on other people's projects as well as responding to feedback on your own project. That will allow you to then the following week complete the tracking final. So that information is there as well. Also, you'll be doing a mixed draft. So after you've sort of recorded everything, you'll be doing some editing and mixing. For this first mixed draft, you'll just do sort of a basic edit and mix. And once again, post it on the discussion board, get feedback. And then the following week, which will actually be the last week of class, you'll submit the final mix based on the feedback I give you, as well as feedback from the discussion board. So at every step of the course project, you'll be getting feedback from me, your classmates, and sometimes I'll participate in the discussion board too, so that I can just kind of like agree with somebody or, just offer further insight, especially if like a thread gets going about like, I don't know, what does it mean to double the vocals? Like I'll probably chime in and provide more information. So yeah, here's the schedule. It's pretty straightforward. You can see in week 1, we're just going to be doing a review of Music Production 1, and also talk a little bit about our home setups, and just have a basic conversation about that via the discussion boards. So pretty light first week. There will be Lab 1, which will be a more, it'll be basically taking a multi-track session and organizing it, putting it all together, and creating a basic mix. So all the things we really learned, like labs 1 through 10 in Music Production 1. Week 2, we'll be talking about microphones. We'll have a great in-person meeting where I go through all the microphones. I will document all that, and there's also a lot of materials on the module as well. Week 3, we'll focus on vocals and some of the special sort of editing techniques, as well as the recording process of capturing vocals. Then the following weeks will be on guitars, drums, piano, and then our final week will be on doing the final Pro Tools proficiency test and then listening to our final mixes. As you can see, pretty much every week you have something due with a course project. Starting in week 2, the demo draft is due, and then each week after that you have your demo final, your tracking draft, your tracking final, your mix draft, and then in the final week 6, your final mix is due. So that's the course. It's pretty straightforward. It looks a little light. You might say like, oh, this doesn't seem like a lot of work, but the labs that accompany this course are really in depth. And also there's going to be a lot of material to kind of go through to not only finish the quizzes, but also just kind of get a better understanding of some of these recording techniques we'll talk about. Also, you're going to be working on your course project, so that'll take a lot of time up each week as well. So as always, if you have questions, feel free to email me. We can set up a time to Zoom, or if you're on campus, we can always meet up as well. That's the syllabus. I definitely go through and review it, and after you're done reading the syllabus, the next place I would go is to shuffle on over to the modules section, and in the modules section you'll find right up in this course resource material tab, the very first tab, you'll find a sort of welcome video to the modules, which will sort of go over the modules and give you some basic information.